Yeah, right. We can stuff on the bed, bath and beyond. Baby girl, tell me what you into. Yeah. Cause every day and night, every night and day, I wanna love your body, girl, in every single way. Every day and night, every night and day, I wanna love your body, girl, in every single way. Forever, my lady, like Jody said. You see your body keep controlling me, and I'm trying to get it popping like it's ecstasy. But your body should stay close to me. We gon' get it poppin', we gon' get it poppin' and soaking wet, fuck around. Got your girls, man, they all upset. Where you at? Where you at? Where you been spending time? Got a man, I always hit you up, but you not around. I be your not a man, I hit you up on the phone. I'm head down to pick you up, baby girl, when you all alone. I wanna call you up, but I can't do that shit. Come over here, baby, you the one I'm rolling with. You the one I'm fooling with. I spend the hours, 1,000 flowers, and tuna fish. Baby girl, you the only one that I'm dealing with. I swear to God, the MC Hammer cut you too legit. And didn't know that you my mama, Mia. Baby girl, you picture perfect like the Mona Lisa. Take you out to France, doing a little dance. Telling me that you love me, you posting it on the gram. And didn't know that you my mama, Mia. Baby girl, you picture perfect like the Mona Lisa. Take you out to France, doing a little dance. Telling me that you love me, you posting it on the gram. Baby girl, I got plans for you. Better yet, I made plans for two. Take your time, let me admire you. And baby girl, we get it poppin' like we supposed to do. We can start from the stairs, girl, I promise an hour. After we're done with charades, we can jump in the shower. I'll tell the world that it's yours, baby girl, that it's ours. Anything that you need in life, baby, I got you. Baby girl, you the one, boo. Cause you to be the one when time gets up, I turn to. Girl, I really love and I do admire you. You the one that I need. Baby girl, you the one, boo. Cause you to be the one when time gets up, I turn to. Girl, I really love and I do admire you. You the one that I need. Every day and night, every night and day, I wanna love your body, girl, in every single way. Every day and night, every night and day, I wanna love your body, girl, in every single way. We have to tell it and we getting it on. Baby girl, tell me what you wanna do. Yeah, right. We can stuff on the bed, bath and beyond. Baby girl, tell me what you into. Yeah, cause every day and night, every night and day, I wanna love your body, girl, in every single way. Every day and night, every night and day, I wanna love your body, girl, in every single way.
I know they don't want me the money to come my way.
Tired of looking for quality clothing in and around Monrovia with no luck in finding what suits your style? Well, look no further. A new men's clothing store located at the corners of Benson and Maglin Streets in the Cabal building is right here for you. The Men's Closet. The Men's Closet specializes in designer wears, including Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Givenchy, business suits, and the list goes on. Gents, let's look, smell, and feel good, not just for ourselves, but our significant others. Remember, when you look good, you feel good. That's why we also have on sale men's cosmetics, perfumes, lotions, deodorants, etc. The Men's Closet. It is not just the man in the clothes, but the quality of the clothes the man wears. For inquiries on our products and services, call cell numbers 0775 560 008, 0777 474 899, or 0886 658 055. The Men's Closet, here for you. Lapus Kitchen, a Liberian-owned business operated by Johnson and Wales University's trained chef Joyce Matowia, is your dining away from home. At Lapus Kitchen, we prepare all kinds of Liberian cuisines, including fried and rare oil potatoes green, kidney beans, palava sauce, fever leaves, and a lot more. We also make rice bread, meat pies, cookies, Benesi candies, and all kinds of pastry products. Place in your order online today from anywhere in the US at www.lorpukatchen.com. The good news is your package is sealed in an insulated cooling box and reaches your destination well preserved and fresh. Save yourself the stress and order the best from a professional chef. Lapu's Kitchen keeps your fingers licking. When you are coming to Liberia, the first thing you think about is getting your way in and around the city. Now, you don't need to worry about that because LIB Executive Shuttle has that covered for you. We have our luxury private and share ride options, scheduled airport services, business or corporate travel, daily rental in and around Monrovia. Or if you want to take a trip to Kakata, Ganta, Buchanan, Banga, LIB Executive Shuttle got you. Our excursion packages include trips to Patawi Waterfalls, Sunset Beach, or Wuka Farms. We are located after Carver Mission Junction, RRA Road, Pinsville, Monrovia, Liberia. For inquiries, call cell numbers 0770 072 614 or 0770 072 613. Better still, call our USA number on 001 301 750 1336. LIB Executive Shuttle. Let us do the driving for you. Allen Bernard International, or ABR, is a management consulting firm with a team of consultants and associates who focus on growing and transforming home healthcare agencies, nonprofits, and small businesses in other industries as well as individuals. Our services include ABR Business Support Services, ABR Accounting and Tax Services, and ABR Anti-Money Laundering Compliance Services. At ABR, we bring to each assignment dedication and commitment, experience and skills, performance-based process, integrated solution teams, and client relations. For more inquiries on our services, call phone number 469-378-3441. ABR, transforming business through ideas.
Another banger, baby, calm down.
Pinter One of Delaware. Yes, it's Pinter One of Delaware, the name that counts when you talk quality painting works. For more than 2 decades, Pinter One has brought more life and vigor to thousands of residential and commercial complexes with our quality painting services. Give your homes, offices, bars, stores, hospitals, shops, etc. that look they deserve by choosing Pinter One of Delaware. For more information, call us on phone number 302 508 3034. Again, 302 508.
We all know the headache we go through sending money to our loved ones, friends, and family in Liberia. High fees, long lines in banks, the usual complaint of the system being down, such a waste of time and energy. That is why I was very happy when I learned that SendWave is now in Liberia. So now I can send money anytime from anywhere directly from my smartphone to the MTN Lone Star Cell mobile money account of a loved one, friend, or family within seconds for just a tiny fee. So download SendWave now to your phone from your Apple Store or Google Play Store. Add your details, and don't worry, they are very safe and secure. And start sending money today. Don't forget to insert the promo code COSTA to get free $5 credit added to your first transfer. SendWave is secure, super fast, and by far the most affordable way to send money to Liberia. I'm Henry P. Costa and a very happy customer. Thank you.
All right, good morning. Morning. Welcome to the program. Today is morning, Morgan.
Good morning, Costa. And today is the 19th day of the 4th month,
Oh no, I wasn't struggling with the data at all. I was just trying to make sure my audio was good.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's okay.
today is the 19th. But hold on, boy. I gotta take this call quick. Hold on. Just carry on. Let me take this call quick.
Okay, folks. So good morning and welcome to yet another edition of the Costa Morning Show. Hope you all are gearing up. Yeah, I should bring you another fascinating edition of the show this morning. We have a lot of things on our plate, and all you have to do is just relax as we serve you breakfast this morning. We'll look at the outcome of the autopsy report that the government of Liberia put out yesterday. And like we said yesterday, that um, Rockefeller Cooper will be live with us this morning to go in detail about the autopsy report. And we hope to have the family data also of the late Princess Cooper live on the show. So that's just what we have on our plate this morning. And we're, looking at other things. We're happy at the National Bureau of
He's not the
Concession.
family doctor, Bwakai. He is the uncle to the late Princess Cooper, who happens to be a medical doctor.
Oh, okay. All right.
Dr. Momo. Yes, he's not a doctor for the family. Well, you could say he's a doctor for the family because he's a medical doctor, but he's actually the uncle to the late Princess Cooper, Dr. Momo. We've been in touch. I spoke to him yesterday at length, and I'm sorry, this person that called me, I needed to talk to them. Okay, hold on, I have to talk to him. That's Councillor Gonglo.
All right. So as I was saying, so all you have to do just sit and relax and follow us as Costa. Yeah, take that call. Yesterday, at the National Elections Commission, the United Party fit hangs again in the hands of the NEC.
Okay, so I'm back here, Boga. I needed to speak with Councillor Tiawan Gonglo. The family, we needed to talk to him about, there needs to be a phone call, a meeting with the pathologist the family has gotten in touch with. We've been involved with that. My dear Princess Martina Konate has been involved closely working with the family. She was there with them yesterday after their family meeting. I spoke with the family spokesman, Dr. Momo, and he told me that they were already making efforts even before the president announced that the government would, was open to having the family request a second autopsy and that they would pay for it. I was already in touch with the family and they were talking about a second autopsy, and we're even looking into how we could raise the funds for that. Now, thankfully, the president has said that the government will pay for it. They can choose their pathologist as long as the person meets the credentials, and clearly, trust me, the pathologist that the family is contacting or has thought about contacting, has already contacted, I'm sorry, is very well qualified, and he has done work in Liberia before. So, but the pathologist wanted to speak with Councillor Gonglo, who I recommended to the family to represent them as their lawyer. So I needed to speak with Councillor Gonglo. I just spoke with him, and he's on top of it. So everything looks good there. Everything looks good there. Yeah. So the family will has already the family took the initiative to already reach out even before the president spoke or issued that statement. We want to commend the move by the government because the family needs closure, and to have closure, they must bring a pathologist that they trust, that is qualified, that can do the job. Hopefully, when that is done, it would bring closure. But this morning, as you said earlier, we will be having Dr. Rockefeller Cooper, who is a Liberian pathologist based in the United States, very well qualified. He's going to be on the show to just talk to us about what he makes of this whole thing. Now, yesterday, Boga, as we watched the press conference, as I watched Dr. Benedict Cooley explaining and talking, first of all, the guy is very unprofessional.
Very unprofessional.
Benedict Cooley should be a politician and not a pathologist. A medical practitioner does not care what the politics of the day say or what they are. A medical practitioner only does his work. He explains, he reads his report, and he's done. A medical practitioner is not supposed to be telling people to now hold opinions, to now rush conclusions, what kind of medical school he went to, how he got trained, how he was a progressive student leader at the University of Liberia during his days. They got arrested for advocacy and political agitation. We are not interested in any of that nonsense.
We don't care.
The guy was very unprofessional. Very, very unprofessional. I mean, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this dude? Is he stupid or what? You know? He's sending out that, telling us, you know, before we get their opinion, we don't want someone here to be rushing. He all made the thing look more suspicious. Okay? You don't do that. You don't see coroners and pathologists giving their reports here in America or other civilized countries, and then they be telling you, say, oh, don't rush your conclusion, and don't think that way, and don't think that way. We know what we are doing. We are expert. We are qualified people. They spend $200,000 to train me to be a pathologist. What the hell? Who cares? So I wouldn't want Benedict Cooley anywhere near an autopsy. Benedict Cooley is very unprofessional. He worked the sort. He may be a good pathologist. That's not an issue, but he is an unprofessional one. He is political also. That man's supposed to be apolitical. He's supposed to be an apolitical person who mounts a podium and tells you exactly what they found. Period. He shouldn't care whether you believe him or not. He shouldn't care. His job, he shouldn't care whether you believe his work. But Benedict Cooley is not. He is a politician.
Yeah, because you are basing on the first, press conference they had or the statement that came from Moses Carter.
That's
so
not the point.
Coming up yesterday again with such result.
That is not the point, Baga. Nobody cares about what happened the first time. The idea is that if you feel that people will not trust the work you do, then don't do it. If you feel that people will not trust the level of work you do, then don't do it. But don't stand up there and try to lecture. Do you know how long that guy spoke? That guy spent a sufficient amount of time talking about himself. The man is a political pathologist. Benedict Cooley is a political pathologist. That guy spent a lot of time talking about. I'm telling you. Somebody said I shouldn't have commended Weir. Of course, I commend Weir for calling for their second autopsy. Who here does not commend the president? Musa Keita? Seriously, you saying that? You who back every damn thing that criminal Musa Ability does? I commend the president for calling for a second autopsy. I commend the president. You know why? Because the family needs closure. We do it for the family. The family. Yesterday, I was on the phone with the family. And they were talking about how they could pay for we began to discuss the possibility of raising money to pay for the pathologist. Now the president said the government will pay. Then I'm not commend the president.
We should.
For this particular act, I commend the president. The family deserves closure. We were worrying about how we'll raise money to pay the pathologist if we bring in another one. Now the president said we'll pay. Then the party. Some of y'all too unreasonable. So nothing the president can ever do that good now because we opposition. I appreciate this move. The family deserves closure. Yesterday we were heading our head thinking about me and the family people. How do we raise money to pay for this autopsy? Then bam, the government issues statement. And how God can work sometimes.
That's right. Because
the president issues statement.
Musa don't know how you raising the money or how the people raise the money to carry on a second autopsy. So that's why you do that. Because you are going to be Musa ability are going to say something about this particular case. You're going to be all on in a post this morning, defending or even celebrating.
But what is the whole relationship with Musa Keita and Musa ability? Oh,
Yeah,
because
I told you the last time. Musa
oh,
Bele,
represent the Benin.
yeah,
It's
Musa
District two,
Keita thinks that the only person that can make him representing District 2 is Musa Bele. So,
But wait, let me ask you. Musa Bele own voters there. He own voters in District 2 that he will make Musa Keita representative. And by the way, Musa Keita is my own nephew.
yeah, but
He's a
Musa,
nice
Musa
guy.
Bele,
Listen,
but
I'm a male. Let me tell you
yeah,
something. Musa
I'm a people.
Keita is my man. Nobody can come between me and that man. That man is my nephew. You understand? I let my man Benny. But that one a family thing there. Musa Keita that my nephew. Nobody can come between us. Not even Musa Benny is there.
We're talking that it make say, okay, I'm going to lay a complaint to the Oman.
Yeah, but seriously, we want to say we are happy for the family in that they will get a second autopsy done, one that their government will pay for. The Liberian people will pay for. And we don't want to pay for it. That's not we are paying for it. That the Liberian people paying for it. But the fact that the president called for it is a commendable act. You understand? It is a commendable act. So we want to just say that. We're very, very glad about that. Now, this morning, of course, at 7 a.m., that is in 22 minutes, we will have Dr. Rockefeller Cooper. We've had Dr. Rockefeller Cooper before several times on the show, way back when the late Harry Greaves was murdered. We had him on. You know, Liberian people are very interesting people. And I will say this before we move on. Now, one of the things when I thought they can say, hey, my man, you won't cause trouble. Some of the people you see today attacking the CDC government for pathology autopsy reports, they say not correct. Don't call party new because they will get very called a party new. The time their own party were in power. The time what their own party were in power. When they did their own autopsy, they on Harry Greed and they said a natural death. They were defending it. You see, look, let me tell you.
No, Pastor, like you don't want to talk, they can get value. Me, I get space for them.
It's sickening. The hypocrisy of the people is sickening. Today, someone you can open your mouth. You say autopsy report not correct. We agree. When I agree with autopsy report, me and I agree with it. Y'all listen to me. The autopsy report that they get, they say they get that from TB, and I believe it. I spoke to a medical practitioner and they said that I had TB can kill people. You get TB. TB can make you sick. Your all the people in close, so they all be infected. They all get TB. You will just go die one time for TB. But the point I'm making is that some of the people who are talking today, they're not sort of be talking about autopsy report, not correct. Some of the people they were talking today, they're not sort of be talking about autopsy report, not correct. Because y'all are when Harry B was murdered, and we all knew that he was murdered, some of y'all were backing them.
Yeah.
Look, the hypocrisy of the people. Oh, the whole hypocrisy of the people. Oh, the hypocrisy of the people. When they are on a party in power, everything correct.
Everything
when they are party not in power, everything bad.
Yeah.
You people are not patriots. You see us? The reason why you're not let up, Are you better? You say I signed a more solution. You damn stupid. When you're on a party or in, you know, brother, it's just sickening when you see someone there. Don't talk. Yesterday, when Harry Green was murdered, you say the autopsy report was correct. Today, they 25-year-old girl will find her body laying down somewhere. The government can tell us say that what the thing he said, they said that what thing that TBK they get, we not believe it. But the point I'm trying to make is that some of you people not sort of open your mouth set. You just sort of sit down and be ashamed. Because yesterday, when they killed that brilliant Harry Greaves, one of the most brilliant Liberians I ever knew. Why got that man always come to our radio station all the time?
All the time.
We launched a program for him that time on the Costa Show. So one day a good, the next day a bad, because your party not in power. You know, when you do this thing, I can just sit down and look at somebody and say, they see this Silesian doing today. Silesian today, yesterday, they the one was saying, oh, they can't Harry Green. Yeah, they murdered the man. Today, when somebody die in a government, like the auditor then, oh no, they're not down. And nobody care. They die by themselves.
The funny thing about it is that once you started talking about them just now, someone on the post saying that, oh, you are sounding more sedition.
But you think I care about them? You see, this is why I tell you, I don't believe in political parties. That's why I tell you, I don't believe in political parties. Your man born you for party, Benin, you stupid man are your business. I believe in the truth. Today, you can talk about autopsy report. The day your party in power, you will not CDC people do the same thing.
Yeah.
The CDC people, when
they were against
anyone in power, the CDC people, they used to open their mouth, they be talking nonsense.
Total nonsense.
Every day they attack everything anyone do. Today, everything fine.
Yeah, Costa.
Everything in the country correct because I CDC in power. Y'all can just sicken me. Y'all can just sicken me. And they don't let you hear the truth. And I will tell them the truth. When y'all own a party in power, everything. You know, sometimes the other day somebody was arguing between the two government. Which government I suffer from more? Seriously, guy? I ain't even want to go to that set. I ain't even want to go there. You want to compare between the government and the Ellen government? Which government will suffer from more? You sure? You want us to compare? Guy, which government put me in jail twice?
Ellen.
Which government shot our radio station down 2 times?
Ellen.
Which government sued me in America?
Ellen Johnson said it.
Which government kind of shot at my car?
Ellen Johnson, Unity Party.
Let them leave and go. So the point about it, they don't want you to talk about pain and suffering. But let them leave and go because some people start crying now. They don't want you to ever talk about your pain and suffering. Don't talk about your pain and suffering. Oh, you know, hey, my man, just forget it. No, they all be telling me something. I tell listen to someone, I say, yeah. So the thing you suffer, don't talk about your pain and suffering. Don't talk about it. Because when you talk about it, it will make some people feel like, oh, maybe you're not really supporting all. Your pain and your suffering, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Just forget it. We almost kill you. Just leave it. We try to register that 2 times. Just leave it. We put you in jail 2 times. Just forget it, my man. We shot at your car. My man, I was just joking. So, the autopsy report, Bennett, some people them just close their mouth. Some people they might just close their mouth. They might not talk inside. We not believe the autopsy report. They say they get that from what is it? TB. Died from TB. We not believe it. And you hear what I say, eh? And we can say our own in our party. We not believe it. We not believe the autopsy report. I'm glad that the people bringing different pathologists, the family people choosing their own pathologists to come and do the second autopsy. I'm very, very glad. I'm very, 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 very glad. Because the family needs that. This morning also, after Dr. Rockefeller Cooper leaves, we will have members of the Gonglo team. They will be on our program this morning. And we'll be talking about Councillor Gonglo's bid for president, his pending trip to the United States and all of that. And I believe the pathologists report out. And I talk to doctors and medical practitioners, and they say that how TB can kill people. So,
because they stay investigating the Lebanese men for TB. That's the question.
Huh?
The Lebanese men they have into the police station and investigating him for TB.
Or the Lebanese men get all the TB. Yeah. The Lebanese men what they caught, and you don't want to get all the TB.
They wanna see us.
But at the hope, how can the police announce that they have a Lebanese national in their custody in connection with the Princess Cooper death? But then they say Princess Cooper died from TB. So now they get Lebanese men in town that can give people TB. Okay, we demand that they do TB tests on the Lebanese men.
On the Lebanese men, yeah.
They must do TB tests on Princess Cooper. The way Princess Cooper, you saw some of the live video on Princess Cooper page. Princess Cooper was a beautiful young lady. Her boyfriend used to be all over her. They used to, you saw some live videos, right? Videos from when she was alive. Yeah. Have you seen some? She was a charming young lady, not just beautiful, but charming. You know, so the way they were all intimate, all cuddle up like that, that boyfriend must have TV. Guy. The boyfriend.
They want to check the boyfriend too. And
my man, the princess, you want to put in the hole? I put in the hole, 100. Princess Cobra boyfriend get TV. Yeah, he gotta get TV. That Lebanese Pape, maybe he the one distributing the TV.
So the new TV annex at Fawaz Bailey, a new TV annex there.
Yeah.
When he's sick, you're going for your TV checkup. That to the Fawaz Bailey, behind the Fawaz Bailey.
When we tell them say cancel the time, they come way before that time. Oh, Johnny here again call. Yeah, that's not the time for you to come on. Yeah, we tell you, I say, okay, your time. Yeah, my man, the Lebanese man. That man distributing, we charge that man with distribution of tuberculosis. That man will not crime. So yeah, the TB Princess Cooper, but the man distributing the TB. The boyfriend needs to be taken to TB annex for treatment immediately. And then we need to begin contact tracing. You know what contact tracing is, Waga?
Yeah, whosoever
the boyfriend can in contact with, even the friend Willie, we need to go and arrest Willie right now and trace all the contacts that Willie has come in touch with in the last several weeks. She possibly has TB. Huh?
TB related.
Possibly has TB. That thing is serious. Look at the other guy here, won't compare which government. You sure you want to have that conversation? Which government has suffered from more? You sure you want to have that conversation? Ellen put me in jail 2 times. Joey chased me, he catch me. Again, body wear. Joey shot down my station 1 time. Ellen shot it down 2 times.
Twice, yeah.
They think that Coco and VCO. When we counting there, Ellen put me in jail 2 times. She shot my radio station down 2 times. You sure you want all to count it? Joey, he shot it down 1 time. So when the radio station closing, Ellen beat Joey. On the going to jail, Ellen beat Joey because Joey was not going to put me in jail again body wear.
Yeah,
he tried, but he make it. So what you want to say? Seriously, you want to do comparison? You just forget that conversation. Because some people didn't have they will just be bad in money. So forget that conversation. But I'm just telling you, some of you are not sort of open your mouth when it comes to autopsy report. Because we saw Harry Grease, how Harry Grease was murdered, and some of us said, nobody sent me in the jail to edge out. I came here, I said, I'm going back. I told you I'm going back December. Joe, I said, I'm welcome to go to the country in July. Why I say, I'm not going on Joe invitation. Yeah, why I say, I'm not going on Joe invitation. I'm going the time where God approved for me to go to Liberia that in December. Yeah, why I say? So I said, oh, my man, you coming for July 26th? The president said, I'm welcome to go home. I'm going to go for July 26th. I say, I'm not going the time what Joe say I'm going to go. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm going the time what God say I should go home. That in December of this year, the time will go.
My man, the president want me to July 26th orator, then he said, you're not coming?
The one Lehman Bowie did, that was small thing. Lehman Bowie gave a broom. Me, pap, that not broom, I will carry.
Like, call it.
The one Lehman Bowie did 2019, he gave a broom to go sweep the place. No, my own not broom. Made me independent day orator is begin. That day we'll start protest right to the Independent Day program. The protest will start right to the Independent Day program. I beg you, you think we are crazy? No, so I heard that nonsense. Can you imagine Abel Blackie?
Yeah.
Abel Blackie, who used to be working in the old government. You see why some of the people there, I can say, sometimes people get bomb and blood. Ever Blackie, that Sanaman Swan, that belly goat, who used to work in the old government, who everything was correct during that time. Everything was fine. Costa go to jail, it's correct. They show you really down, it's correct. They do the other one to Costa, it's correct. That today that Sanaman Swan go open your mouth and post on Facebook. I will tell you, Costa finished going to Jawia. And you see, they come and make Costa what? Independence Day orator.
Yeah.
Do you know that Sanaman Swan posted on Facebook that Jawia has made me the orator to speak to Independent Day program. You think Jawia VPP to make me Independent Day orator? Eh? They mistake the mail with Lima Bowie. You think they won't repeat that mistake? My own will be bad because I'll be speaking. I will say, there's son of a swan there.
But see if you
speak back to the people.
if you arrested, you put behind bar straight.
Independent Day orator. What? No boy will never give me time to speak. He said, what? I told the man, y'all give me my frequency by the man. I said, no. Can't talk about Independent Day orator. You see, brother, when you lie like that on somebody, then the time they put not see it. So you former journalist, you go on Facebook, you write and say, former government official, oh, you write and say Costa has sold out to the government or CDC. They're making him Independence Day orator. Independent Day can of course not speak to the Independent Day program. Then what you got to say now? Just because you won't let the government in power because they're not your own government there. You think some of all the reason why we're supporting Joseph Boakai because we won't replace government with you? You think we're doing that replacement killer Benaya? We move the men, we put all the men there so we get in job. That's why you're looking for a job. We're supporting Joseph Boakai because we believe he will make a change. He's a decent, honest man. We're not looking for government job. We're not looking for government job. You understand? So some of you feeling, oh, yeah, that the Costa man would depend on to be dropping the missile on Jawia, then the Costa on leave in the coal. All day, Boakai, they go into Joe Boakai. Oh, they just send the men money. Oh, they just wire the men money. 200,000 and 50,000 and 30,000 all day. When I call that, oh, the men are let our party. The men that y'all be running around accusing me of this and that. You know, sometimes the people that you working with something yesterday for long, you say, but why are doing what the people there say? I can't even trust the people there. Eh?
Costa, you should know, but now the United Party is divided.
Please start calling that near because they come and go open whole conversation again. They'll start calling me all over the place. But seriously, that is sickening.
No, Costa, on our platform here, we call names, we call all political party names.
Yeah, don't call that name. They will say I'll be attacking their party.
No, Costa, you can't.
We're not even telling the truth. Then you attacking them. Or you come and go to CDC. Or you coming to the one here.
No. So we should talk about other parties. We shouldn't include United Party. That's why you're trying to tell me.
No, don't call that party name. I beg you.
No, Costa, I beg you. No.
Yeah, no. I the one begging you lead a party name because they say I hate their party. That's what they say. The time what they were putting me in jail 2 times. No, that me hate them. That not they don't want to hate me. The time what they used to be on Facebook clapping. Somebody put them who acting like the human rights defenders and champions today. When they used to put me in jail, they used to be clapping on Facebook. Today, they injure them. Someone who just sit down and look at y'all, say, yeah, wallahi, it was not for Joe Boakai business. Wallahi, it was not for Joe Boakai business. Joe Boakai blessing y'all. That Joe Boakai blessing y'all. Wallahi, that Joe Boakai blessing y'all. Y'all want thanking every day that he the one blessing y'all. Because you're not trusted. That means you're supposed to trust me. I'm supposed to trust yourself. Eh? I'm supposed to trust yourself. But let's take a few calls before we take Dr. Rockefeller Cooper. Don't call their party name, I beg you. Because they will say, I hate them. I hate their party. Call that, take a few calls there. Take 3-4 calls.
All right. 0770-102-102-886-010.
Michael Lugo, congratulations to you on your very, very, very esteemed accomplishment, graduating with a master's degree and summa cum laude, the highest honors a university can confer on the graduate. Summa cum laude. We'll take a few calls before we take Dr. Rockefeller Cooper. So the president has said that the family may request a second autopsy and the government will pay. And the government will pay for it. And it is a good thing. Because yesterday we were on the phone with the family people and this is what they want. And I agree with the family and they deserve it. The family needs closure. Closure. And they deserve it. And so we support them. So let's take a few calls there. We'll take Dr. Cooper And maybe we'll even get the families, the spokesman for the family will come on and we'll talk to him briefly.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning. Morning.
Yeah, your name, where you calling us from?
This is Akwe Mwagwagwe, and I call you from Durham, North Carolina. Relative to what Henry is discussing there about people coming out to have problem with him during the past government, what they did, what they did not do. We follow. Just for the reference and for the information, there was not a single demonstration that CDC did in Monrovia that I never took part in, with the lack of another pattern and the Molu. The car you talk about today, that car was parked at Central.
That's true.
You had the fool who is now to defense ministry as a spokesperson.
Same Collins.
And met me, tell me, bring by your car. Investigation was still ongoing. When you said that a car there, they say that bullet here. And I faced my own man. I said, look, you as a spokesman for police, what the hell you will have investigation going on? And you come to preempt.
Thank you.
Without even getting an outcome of the investigation, and you said this can be a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
We started that thing right at the police station at Central. We end the portion of it, the last portion of it on the carry as you. But the thing I'm gonna do is
okay, but I got his line is bad. Let's take another caller. So are you there, Bwakai? It looks like we lost connection with Bwakai. Internet wahala. Internet wahala. Hey, I pray for the day, fellow Liberians, that we will have a government in power. That when the government speaks, in such cases such as this, that the people will not dispute what the government is saying. Hey, I pray for that day. I pray that the family would accept and trust what the government said. Hey, I pray that the day I'm fighting for your thing, I'm just fighting for John Brown to be president. The Liberia I'm fighting for is a Liberia where the people will trust their government because the government will make them trust them. That when the government say they may that cutlass kill or he dying in his sleep, the people will say, my people, you're sorry, yeah, but the government not talk. That the day I'm waiting for. The day the government speaks and the people trust the government is the Liberia that I'm waiting for. That's the Liberia I fight for. I'm not fighting for Liberia so John Brown can get a job and take care of plenty of girlfriend there or pay house for himself. I'm not fighting for that stupidness. I'm fighting for the day a real government will come to power. Well, you know why the point trust the government today? Old government, modern government, government later, so bad people. But there will come a day. I don't know when, but there will come a day that we will have a government. That when that government open your mouth and say, we found a body laying out in the place, we did the autopsy and we found out this is what happened, the people will say that's true. Now what happened? That what happened because they trust the government. Dr. Rockefeller Cooper, good morning and welcome to the Costa Show. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Doc. Unmute yourself, please.
Okay.
Like the day I'm waiting for. Yes.
Yes. Thank you ever so much, Henry, for having me. Hope all is well on your end. Boycott,
Yeah.
good morning.
Yeah, all is well, Doc. Doc, before we go any further, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself professionally. For those who do not know you, for those of us who know you, but just for the benefit of those who do not know you, tell us, who is Dr. Rockefeller F. Cooper II?
Well, yes. So I'm Dr. Rockefeller F. Cooper II, a Liberian by nationality. Professional-wise, my background is in medicine and science with concentration in forensic death investigation. Professional-wise, I have worked with many medical examiners' offices as far as establishing cause and manner of death. And currently, I'm self-employed and I work as a forensic medical legal consultant. So basically, I do post-mortem examinations, working with other agencies to establish cause and manner of death. And we've been quite busy over the last 2 years because a lot of medical examiner offices have been turning down cases due to concerns of COVID. And so we have been answering the calls of those families in need. And basically, that's where we are. As a matter of fact, I'm out of town right now for work as well.
You look like you're in a hotel room.
Yes, I am. I am in a hotel.
You're on the road working.
Yes. Yes.
So, Dr. Cooper, not only are you a trained forensic pathologist or medical examiner, but you are practicing. You've been in this field for the last 10 years. Is that so?
Yes, I've been involved in death investigations for the past 10 years. Not just to a little point of correction because of the caveat. So I'll be more of a forensic medical examiner / medical legal death investigator consultant as opposed to a forensic pathologist. Though I did train in forensic pathology and forensic medicine.
Thank you very much, Doc. Thank you very much for that correction. Doc, let's get down to it.
Sure.
Princess Cooper. Yesterday, we all watched.
Yes.
And once again, we were disappointed.
Rightfully so.
What is your reaction, first of all, before we even get down to what are your assumptions, your extrapolation or whatever, based on the pieces of evidence you've gathered? But what was your reaction to the findings as were disclosed yesterday?
Well, so as to the findings that were disclosed, so we had 2 cases being discussed yesterday.
Precisely.
Yes. Actually, so I did not expect, well, basically, I expected the outcome as far as not bringing a clear understanding to the Princess Cooper's case. But most of all, I was shocked with the findings that were presented to regarding the Melvin Tokpa's case, which is, it is highly unfair. But, and of course, I'll be going to that depending on which case you want us to address. But so due to the lack of fundamentals, forensic death investigation fundamentals, we were disappointed yesterday. So, but like I said, as we go deeper into the issues at hand, I will be, expanding on those different components. But it was, like you rightfully stated, disappointing.
Mm-hmm. So let's start with, because they started with Melvin Tokpa, the 42-year-old man who was found dead in his room by his wife when she returned from the market or somewhere. So let's talk about that. What do you make of that? They said he died from falling on his face.
Henry, the Melvin Tokpa case reminds me of that of Matthew Innes. So the first thing here is interpretation. Like I said, due to the lack of fundamentals, okay? But Melvin did not die from falling. And in fact, from falling, there, it was not even stated that he fell from somewhere, but he was standing and he fell. That is, that makes no sense at all. It is not possible for a person to fall. Now, yes, the irony, Henry. Okay, you said that he fell. Where did he fall from? This man was in his bedroom. His wife left. He's the only one who was there. So let's assume that he fell, I don't know, from anywhere. Okay, how did the body now return to the bed? But that in itself, it does. It doesn't make sense scientifically. Of course, forensically.
Well, they say his wife found him on the floor when she came home.
Well, if his wife found him on the floor, there would have been evidence of him being on the floor. Okay. Being on the floor, yes. The wounds on the body clearly indicates that there was an altercation. So he had a fight with someone. If you look at the wound pattern, and this is something that I do, and I'm open to challenge anyone on Liberian soil this morning to tell me that the wounds were from a fall. How do you fall and then you have wounds on different parts of the body? Okay. The worst case scenario, you would have been falling from a height, and then that's a whole different ball game. But when you look at the presentation that was done yesterday, when the left lung, so basically this is what's happening here. An association is being placed between the whitewash that was on the bathroom wall and the left side of Melvin's body. That was a wrong approach, because yes, the contradiction. When the body was, as the organs were being eviscerated, so the organs were being removed, when the left lung was moved, one of the pictures that we saw showed blood in the chest cavity. That usually happens from trauma to the chest. So where did he fall from? Or how did he fall to have caused that extent of injury?
Well, Doc, they mentioned in their findings that his body had signs of substance consistent with cannabis and alcohol consumption.
Well, let me hold you right there, Henry.
So he might have fallen. Now I'm playing the devil's advocate. We're interviewing you. That's our job.
Right.
So, so the assumption, I think the mention of that was to say that the combination of cannabis, for those who you already know who cannabis is, the marijuana, opium. La première is opium, but it's marijuana. So could it be that marijuana combined with alcohol might have caused alcohol?
That is highly impossible. If that is the case, Henry, just look at it this way. Don't you think Zogos will be falling left and right all around Monrovia? If that,
and every time they fall, they would die?
Every time they fall, they would die. They
but Zogos do fall. When people get drunk, they fall all the time, Doc.
Yeah, well, it's true. When you get drunk,
but perhaps they didn't fall on their face, because they're saying he fell on his face.
So Henry, here's the thing. Before all of this, I have viewed the photographs. Okay, a lot of these cases, I'm one step ahead of the game. I have viewed photographs, and I emailed you so that you will be on. I've sent you some emails.
Yeah, yesterday. You did send me a lot of pictures. Yeah, yes. But trust me, I'm not a professional like you in that field. It's difficult for me to see those pictures.
Well, okay. Well, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, but the issue here is there's no way that the person will smoke marijuana and drink alcohol, and then so you become inebriated, so to speak. When you fall, that's only one position. Okay, when you look at both of his legs up to his knees, some of those pictures were not shown, but like I said, I've seen a lot of those photographs, and I can hold any debate or any argument anywhere, any day, anytime. Okay, this man did not, he did not. This was not an accident or a self-inflicted injury, which of course led to his death. Forensically, it does not add up. Okay. They talk about contusion. So basically that brain swelling. They talk about hemorrhaging, all these things. So with head injury. Just how the pictures were shown. What I would have done, as I do on many occasions, the brain would have been photographed and shown to the public, just as he decided to show, other organs or tissues. The same should have been done. So the presentation in itself was not fair.
It was not comprehensive.
It was not comprehensive. The investigation as a whole was, meaning with both from the Liberia National Police and those that did the post-mortem examination, did not do a fair job to Melvin, because the report is contradicted by the facts and principles of forensics.
Okay, Doc.
So
thank you.
Because also you must remember one thing: the door was not locked. Okay, so it was open. Anybody could have gone in. That's a possibility that should not be excluded.
Okay, so you think that their findings are not consistent with what the situation appears to be like?
Well, I don't want to say
case.
I don't want to even say consistent. It is impossible for him to have fallen and died.
Okay.
It is, especially on his own to just fall.
Yeah, and clearly they didn't say he fell from a high place. He was standing on his feet and fell. That's the assumption. Yeah.
Exactly.
They didn't say he was upstairs, 2 floors up or 3 floors up, and tripped and fell. They didn't say that. They
No,
said he
they
was
didn't say
standing
that because,
right there, and he suddenly just fell and died. So but
and besides, there's nothing to prove that he was standing and just fell. You see, when you're presenting a forensic report, you have to put yourself in a position to where you'll be able to not only present logically, but to answer questions logically as well and
yeah,
clear
but
the doubts.
you are right, Doc. So there was nothing, there was no videotape or anything that would indicate that he actually fell from standing.
No, but and of course, as far as video, we won't say that, but there's no physical evidence to show that that he fell. The markings on his leg. You see, people don't. You have to be careful when you get yourself involved with forensic cases. This requires years of understanding. Okay.
Okay.
Imagine if I'm attacking you with a blunt object in your home, and you're also using your legs to kick. You can also get injured through that as well. Now,
when you track me on my leg with the object that you have.
Yes. Now, let me say this. When we do toxicology exams, and I also send you a copy of a toxicology report so that you have an understanding, the substance is quantified. So this is just like saying a person who drank one bottle of beer, was drunk and started misbehaving as compared to the person who drank one bottle of beer, has some Hennessy XO, Paul missing, you name it. Okay. So what was the scientific, because they were supposed to be a scientific presentation.
Precisely.
What was the quantity of alcohol and marijuana
in his body
that was found in his body
that could have made him inebriated?
Yes.
To trip and fall.
Exactly. Because
that would increase the probability of tripping and falling.
Well, tripping and falling is one thing. Those injuries could not have just resulted from
those injuries are not consistent with tripping and falling.
They are not consistent
because they are directly attributing his death to the fall. But the injuries that you mentioned are not consistent with the fall.
They are not. He
fell on his face.
No, it was
then
not.
Why the hell doesn't he have wounds in other parts of your body? Anyway, Doc, you are the expert. Let's move on to something else here. Let's go to Princess Tupac, the more controversial one. Now, by no means are we saying Melvin Tupac's life was not equally important, but the manner in which Princess Cooper died was much more graphic and dramatic. And perhaps her youthfulness, was so young, she was 25, just about half of Melvin's age. So people are concerned. And she was a beautiful young lady too. So, people are naturally very, very concerned. Enterprising, so we heard. So let's talk about her case. They concluded that her death... Yes, Baga, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to come in before he can go to Princess Cooper. We want to know, the difference between a clinical pathology and a forensic pathology, because we would need to know the differences before coming in, because they both pathologists that did the work, we need to know their position and what they are involved into.
You mean their credentials, their background, what they studied, right, Baga?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So the difference between a clinical pathologist and a forensic pathologist, is quite simple. And I'm going to start from the, basically from the basics. So obviously, one is dealing mainly with is working in a clinical setting, and that will be the clinical pathologist. And what he's doing is he's studying organs, tissue samples that are sent from the surgical theater, which would be like to confirm if there's malignancy or not, as in cancer. Also studying to help establish cause of death from like people, a person that was admitted in the hospital, so to speak. Okay, and making clinical diagnosis. The forensic pathologist, on the other hand, is the pathologist who is basically using scientific principles to help establish the cause and manner of death, whether that is homicide, suicide, natural, undetermined, accidental death. Okay. Now, so looking at the the type of autopsies that are being performed, you want to make sure that the one who is performing it has adequate training in forensics as a whole. Why am I saying that? yes, a clinical pathologist can do an autopsy if they have undergone adequate amount of training in forensic medicine and forensic pathology. So meaning you may have a clinical pathologist, okay, and then that may go off, for what will be considered as advanced training. And the reason is so that when you do, because some cases are not clear cut, okay? And what happens is if you don't have the requisite training, then you run into problems like the ones we have now. Okay. And so that is would be the fundamental difference between the two.
Dr. Cooper, I'm going to hold you right there. Sorry for interrupting you. Dr. Benedict Cooley is here.
Yes.
He's under the live feed, and he says he wants to come on. I just shared the video link with him.
Yeah.
Yes. Please do. Please bring him on.
Video link with Dr. Benedict Cooley, the chief pathologist from yesterday.
Yes.
So Dr. Benedict Cooley, I'm going to share it with you. You're welcome to come on. And so Doc, you may proceed while I'm trying to share the link with Dr. Benedict Cooley. Check your inbox. Dr. Benedict Cooley, I'm sending you the video link. Is in your Facebook inbox. Check it. Yeah. Proceed,
yes.
Dr.
Yes. So as I was saying, so if you have a clinical pathologist that goes off and and gets advanced training in forensic forensic pathology or forensic medicine, then yes, they will be able to handle all of the cases, be it whether it's from a clinical standpoint or from a forensic standpoint. Now, in the case, so going back to Princess's death, you have to start this off from the from the scene, okay, and that's where the questions, the questions or the different questionnaires begin. One thing I would say is that the autopsy is not clear cut. It does not just give 100% as it. First of all, it doesn't just say who did what. It says yes. So it says what happens, to the person.
Then it's left to the police now to work out the possibilities that might happen.
Yes. And that's one of the reasons why it is also very important to have, to have trained investigators, because their findings, for example, will also assist the one who is doing the post-mortem exam to come up with a conclusion. For example, when you visit the scene and you see, first of all, where the body was found was not where the young lady, where she died. The bloodstain analysis, which is a whole different aspect.
It was a trio.
It's a trio, yeah.
Well, not only that, but there was some disconnections. Okay, look at where the body is, and then you look at the, you look at the stains. Okay, where you got blood. If scientifically / medically speaking, let's assume that she was moving about in the backyard and spilling out that quantity of blood, she would have passed out, basically in what would be considered like in the center part of the yard where you have most of the blood, so to speak, and not in the corner. The body was placed there. So now it is the police responsibility to find out who that that person, how the body got there, do the analysis to see, so that their investigation will be supported from both angles, meaning from the crime scene as well as from the the post-mortem investigation. So that's how it should be approached.
Now, Doc, tuberculosis.
Yes.
They're basically concluding that is tuberculosis. Is that, this may not be your field of expertise, but does the situation, is it consistent with tuberculosis? Is that how a tuberculosis person would just have like a sudden attack and die? Or could it have been triggered by tuberculosis if indeed she had it?
It does not make sense medically. And here's the reason why. So a person with tuberculosis, Henry, it takes a period of time. There will be associated signs and symptoms. But none of this, was ever recorded. And then all of a sudden, during the post-mortem or the findings from the post-mortem examination, it is concluded that her death was due to, her being infected with Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which is the bacteria that causes the, the infection. So, but when you look at photos of the body, okay, and like I said, in the blood stain analysis, you can clearly see that this lady was put, was put in that position, meaning in the corner where you saw her laying down. Okay.
It looks that way.
No, it's not that it looks that way. It is that way because, Henry, here's the thing. So there are other photographs of the body, okay, that you must see. A lot of people, only saw, of course, with her just laying, but the front part of her body, you will see that she was that she was carried out by who, that we don't know. That is for the LNP. Okay, so let's assume that if it was tuberculosis, and
TB attacking people like that now.
And she started. No, we're coming to that point. And we just assuming. Okay, we just assuming. And she started vomiting somewhere. Okay, how did she end up to that point?
Thank you.
Okay, how did she end up to that point? When you look, why is it that a part of her clothing, between basically, because she had on like what would be gray leggings or tights, as the women call it. Okay. The anterior part is part of that, as well as the upper part of her, the lower part of her her abdomen, which is clear of blood. That will only happen if the body was carried in a folded position, meaning somebody got, hold by the arms and by the legs. So, it does not make sense. So I think that, the Liberia National Police needs to look into this matter thoroughly, because something is just not adding up. Besides that, when you look at the presentation yesterday, and if I listened correctly, it was stated that the pertinent findings were being presented. Now, what happened?
What were the impertinent findings?
Well, some of the pertinent findings I would have been looking at would have been, for example, what were the findings of her, the neck structure? Because here is the case where you have a questionable death involving a young lady. What was done to prove that she was not assaulted? See, certain things should have been mentioned, okay, regarding that. What was basically noticed or studied or appreciated from her head exam? These things were not mentioned, but basically it's like the entire exam was focused primarily on her, basically on her lung tissue.
Okay, Doc, let me hold you there. For some reason, Dr. Benedict Cooley says he's unable to connect, so he wants to call in. But then the trouble with you guys in the studio, boy, is when somebody calls in, they don't get to hear me speak. I don't know how you set it up.
No, it will go through.
You always say it will go through. Then when the person calls, then I can't talk to the person. Yeah, so he said he can't connect. Maybe it's a problem with his browser. So I'm going to send Boakai's number to him. I'm going to send your number to him right now, Boakai, so that he may be able to call in and participate, because, of course, he has the right to respond as the person who was in charge of the autopsy. So I'm going to send you a number. So he has your number, Boakai. Look out for Dr. Benedict Cooley's call. He should call you any moment now, and I hope I will be able to hear him. I mean, he will be able to hear me when I ask him questions, and as well hear Dr. Cooper when he asks him questions. So, folks, you're listening to the Costa Show. Today is Tuesday, the 19th day of April 2022. And, okay, he wants to call my U.S. number. That's perfect. I'm going to give him my U.S. number so that he may call my U.S. number. Okay, hold on, guys. Now, that you may proceed while I'm trying to give him the number. I guess you have questions lined up for him. So once he calls, I'm going to pass him through right here, and then we'll be able to hear him. Now, so the family clearly has said, well, even before they publicly said it, they told me yesterday after their family meeting, they want a second autopsy. Is this common in your profession? Are there cases where the family would request a second opinion, medical opinion?
Yes, second autopsies are done all the time.
Okay. And oftentimes, what precipitates that? What causes that?
Well, basically, it's all about, so the lack of trust.
Okay.
The lack of trust is the main driving force behind second autopsies being done.
So this is common.
Very, very common.
Okay, precisely. Thank you. Let's see here.
Yeah, but that on the issue about the second autopsy, given the fact that they have already,
I believe I have Dr. Benedict Cooley on the line. Is this Dr. Cooley? All right. Can we, guys, can you hear Dr. Cooley loud and clear? Do us a favor, kind of lower the volume of your receiver in the background. Whatever device you're using to monitor the show, please tune that down so that we don't get feedback. Okay, now that we can hear you loud and clear. Dr. Cooper and Boga can hear you very clearly and loud enough. Doc, let's ask you a question. First of all, yesterday, your presentation, I have a problem with that, Doc. I do not question your education. I'm told you are very well educated. You studied in Ghana. But why did you feel the need, Dr. Cooley, to be as political in your presentation in the onset as you were? Why, Dr. Cooley?
Thanks, Costa. You need to pinpoint exactly what was political about that statement.
The razzle dazzle, and the academic braggadocio. The way you went on with
academic braggadocio is not an English word. If you can kindly speak English to me.
All right, Doc. The way you went on bragging.
Listen to me, Costa. This is not fun. We lost agreeing your plan.
Precisely.
I want you to go straight to the point.
All right, Doc. Okay, let's skip that.
Let's get to that.
All right, Doc, let's get to the point. You said Melvin Topper died from falling on his face. Is it common the injuries were the injuries that were supposedly on his body, are they consistent with a fall on his face?
They are very, very consistent because what?
That? Are you running out of credit? You may call on WhatsApp. That's okay. If you're running out of regular credit.
No, I have enough credit.
Okay.
I'm not running out of credit.
Proceed.
I'm hearing you.
Proceed.
Yeah. So the injury on Melvin Topper's case is consistent with a fall. And are you hearing me?
Loud and clear, Doc. Loud and clear.
Okay. So I'm also happy that your guest in the studio was magnanimous enough to admit that he's not a pathologist, let alone a forensic pathologist. All right. So when we are having this discussion, you have to realize that he's actually a junior to us. All right. So
that is not necessary. You know what? I'm going to let the two of you interact. In fact, I'm not the expert here. No, on this show right now.
Let alone a forensic pathology. All right. So the injury, can I understand why he's exhibiting that level of ignorance?
Go ahead.
Doc, we can hear you. Go ahead, loud and clear. We can hear you.
All right. So you have had, if you look at the literature, go now on the internet and check. All right. Epidural hematoma from falling. You're going to see a lot of people having head injury from falling. All right. So every time people fall, depending on where you fall, the height from which you fall, I'm not hearing you. Can you hear me?
Doc, we can hear you perfectly well. Please proceed. We can hear you.
I wasn't hearing you, all right? So you can fall and sustain that level of injury. It's not something that is beyond the realm of possibility. So when you do forensic, when you do investigation, there are probabilities that certain events can occur. So this probability, is there a 0 probability? Is it a 0.5 probability or is it a 1.5 probability? If there's a 0.5 probability, it means there's a 50% chance that this thing will happen. If there's a 0 probability, it means that thing never happened. If there's a 1 probability of 1, it shows that there's a 100% chance that that event can occur. The question I'm putting to your guest in the studio is this. Falling and sustaining head injury, is there a 0% probability? That's the first question. Of course, the answer is no. That probability that one can fall and sustain head injury, it's not a 0% probability. If there's a probability of 0.3, if there's a probability of 0.5, it can happen. So for him to sit in that studio, and I admit because he's not a pathologist, let alone a forensic pathologist, I understand his limitation, all right? He is a forensic investigator who goes to crime scene and take bottles and see and measure them. That's not the kind of stuff we're talking about here, all right? We are talking about national security issues and stuff like that. So I think it's just implementary stuff. So to answer this question, it is within the realm of probability that someone can fall and even for certain position. Now, he said in that place that, you didn't say whether the man was standing. There was feces in the commode. When you go to the bathroom in this country, you have to check on the commode. When you finish using commode, you stand up and walk away. All right? So given that he was the only one in the house, and there was copious amount of feces in the commode, there's a plausibility, all right, that he will have used that commode, stood up and walked into his room and fall as a result of that. Yes. And there was feces in his anus. When he was there was feces in his anus.
Okay, Doc.
He didn't clean himself well, all right? So I don't have issue with corporate, all right? But for him to stay here and lie to the Liberian people.
Okay, Doc, I'm gonna let Dr. Cooper ask you a question now, Doc, please. We heard you loud and clear. We heard you loud and clear. Dr. Cooper, the turn is yours. You may ask Dr. Cooley a question.
Yes, before I ask him any question, Henry, I'm glad that he...
Hold on, Dr. Cooper. Dr. Cooley, can you hear Dr. Cooper?
I cannot hear him, but if you don't mind, I can put it...
No, I will voice over his question. So make your question brief, Dr. Cooper. I will voice over his question.
Yes. So, Henry, just before I go ahead to relay my question or have you relay my question, yes, I made it clear that I am not a forensic pathologist. I also made it clear to you, which of course everyone is listening, that I have my extensive education and training in forensic pathology and forensic medicine, which were part of my forensic training as a whole. Here is the situation, Henry. He's trying to look for legs to stand on. The wound pattern analysis on the body does not consist with a person who had a fall.
Okay.
Who had a fall. So,
okay. You want me to relay that?
Yes, relay that to him, please.
Dr. Cooper is saying, yes, he said on the onset of this show that he is not a forensic pathologist, but did a lot of training and studying in that. He also said, primarily, that the wound pattern on Melvin Tupper's legs or one of his legs, those wounds are not consistent with the fall on his face that, according to you, supposedly led to his death. What say you to that, Dr. Cooley?
Thank you. Costa, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Dr. Cooley, loud and clear. So can everyone else.
That's a very, very valid question. And I didn't know you were having this program. I was on Zoom, and I will project some of those ones, and we talk about it. So if you don't mind, reschedule it.
I will reschedule it. Let's reschedule it.
I like to talk to him, all right? So that he can show who he is to the Liberian people. The one on they were not clean cut. If they were not clean cut, it means no one used,
Yeah, when you say clean cut, you mean fresh wounds? Those were not fresh wounds?
No. It shows that the edges are jagged. The edges are not straight.
Look up.
The edges are
Wait, Doc. Doc, hold on. So you're saying the wounds are fresh wounds, but they were not clean cuts, they were jagged. Therefore, somebody could not have cut him in a jagged way? Is there no object that could?
Listen to me, Costa. If you look at the edge of the wound, if you look at anyone, sorry. Costa, I can't hear you.
Loud and clear. We can hear you loud and clear, Dr. Cooley. Loud and clear.
Okay, but I need to hear you if I have to answer your question.
Yes, but can you hear me now?
I'm hearing you. There's a little bit of a delay with the stuff. I'm hearing you now. All right. So basically, this is what I'm saying. When I say it's not clean cut, I'm saying that.
Dr. Cooley, here's what we're gonna do. Let's reschedule for Friday. For Friday, you and Dr. Cooper can come on Friday. What say you to that?
Okay, but let me just answer to those very key.
Yeah, just answer to this one, then we'll leave it for Friday.
Yeah, when I say clean cut, listen to me, Costa, if you don't mind. Let me just say this before I go, because you raised this, and there are people listening now that may not be on Friday, all right?
Yes.
That may not be on Friday. There are people listening that may not be on Friday, and I just want to clarify this, all right? So basically, Costa, what I'm saying when I say clean cut is a forensic term. If you use a sharp object to cut a wound, if you charge someone, you use knife to cut them, the edges of the wound will be smooth. So when I say clean cut, it has nothing to do with cleanness of the wound or whatsoever.
Okay.
Definitely, a wound will be fresh at some point before it gets black or whatsoever. But when I say clean cut, it's a forensic term. So if you see a wound and the edges are jagged, all right, they are jagged, the edges are not smooth. It means that wound was a knife or something with a sharp edge was not used to cut that wound in forensic. That's what I was saying.
But Doc, when Dr. Cooper said Melvin Chupa had wounds on his legs, I hadn't seen that. I hadn't heard that. So, but do you think it's possible somebody might have cut him on his foot? What is your theory? What do you think might have caused those wounds on Melvin Chupa's legs?
The wounds were abrasions. The wounds were abrasions that were caused by a dull object. All right, they were abrasions that are caused not with a sharp edge. He merely had abrasions on his leg. And when we have this meeting on Friday, a ratio of zones, and I'm going to project everything for the world to see.
Okay, Doc.
We will do that, all right?
So Friday then, Friday at 11:30 Liberian time. 11:30 Liberian time is when you come on, Doc. Friday, 11:30 Liberian time. Okay, Doc.
I'm a busy man. I'm going to make time. Just make sure Rockefeller does not escape.
No, Rockefeller will be here. Thank you.
wait, but let's say, wait, Costa.
Yes, sir.
This joker has come here today to try to convince the Liberian people. And I was going to say before, I didn't want him to hang up. If we'll go and prepare.
No, but because his connection is not very good, Doc. So
no, what I'm saying, so Friday, I know, just so that
will be correct.
Yes, Friday. And like I should run away. You talk, I'm a fellow with the International Association of Coroners and Medical Examiners. You compare our CVs. This man has no fundamental training in forensics. This is the very same individual, Costa, on July 3rd, 2019. This man put me in a situation with the government of Sierra Leone. He did the autopsy on Hawa Kamara, the girl that died at Palm Spring Hotel. And then they lied and said that the autopsy was done under my observer ship. I was summoned twice. That is because of his action. That is the reason why Mara Bill did not stay to complete the program, the 26 program at the stadium. Mara Bill was pissed off, and the government.
Are you kidding?
I am telling you. I'm looking in the camera and I'm telling you. Hawa Kamara, because the people are of the belief that the citizens were not being treated properly. I decided. I told Miss Sherman Odell's, but I said, let me see what the Liberians can do, because my nationality was being questioned. That's how bad it went down. Apart from the whole Congo and country thing, pile of nonsense. Okay, I went there from his initial action. The young lady died, at the Palm Spring Hotel. His actions on the body. Anybody walking in would have thought that young lady was physically assaulted. You want to come and argue and compare yourself with me when it comes to forensic death
Friday, Doc. Friday.
Friday. And if he doesn't have credit, I'm willing to provide his credit.
Hey, no, he will come. We're saying the link way ahead of time. Don't worry, Doc. Friday, the whole country is expecting you. All right, Doc. Thank you.
Let me say this.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to say it with this quickly.
Yeah.
Based on the bloodstream pattern analysis, I want the librarian to know this is the very same reason why it does not make sense that Nyenswa jumped to his death. He was either he met somebody in his courtyard or he came and met somebody and he was killed down in the courtyard. Bloodstream pattern analysis. I send you all of my credentials Costa by email. Let Benedict Cooley also send his so that you review and then we will
do that. All will be done on Friday.
Yes, I'm ready. This is what I've been waiting for. Thank you.
All right, Doc. Thank you. Oh, I didn't know you had an interaction like that.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, folks, there you have it. We have our other guests here that we're going to take. Friday will be a showdown between the two good doctors, Dr. Benedict Cooley and Dr. Rockefeller Cooper. I didn't know they had this altercation. I didn't know that there was a situation involving. So it's going to be very interesting. We have with us wonderful folks here from Team Gonglo. Dr. Emmanuel Kamara is here with us. Mr. George Wu. Mr. Wu, your connection is not, you have to log out and probably log back in because it says your devices are not connected. You are not connected. George Wu. Can somebody, okay, George Wu just did that. So reconnect and then we'll get you back on. Dr. Kamara, good morning and welcome, sir. Sorry we stay a little longer. We kept you waiting. We apologize. We didn't mean to. You know, as you can see, the wahala going on in the country. But it's good to have you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Costa and your team. It's a privilege to be here. I mean, that was an interesting conversation, and had
the two doctors. All right, thank you very much. We have Brother Momo Tamba Tule here with us as well. And Mr. George Wu is still saying your devices are not connected. I'm sure it's just one device, but it says devices. But you are not connected, sir. Could you log out and log back in? We're waiting for you, but we're going to begin this conversation. Dr. Kamara and Mr. Tule, you are both from Team Gonglo USA. Let's talk about that. We'll start with you, Dr. Kamara.
Very well, Mr. Costa. Once again, thanks for having us on your show. And greetings to all your listening audiences all over the world. We are members of Friends of Gonglo. Yes, there is another organization here in the diaspora called Team Gonglo. In fact, there's another one called Team Gonglo Diaspora.
Okay, so you are the Friends of Gonglo.
Very well. Correct. We are Friends of Gonglo, the primary movement here in the diaspora that is supporting the candidacy of Councillor Tiawanse Gonglo. And we are very happy to be here on your show to discuss with you some of the events that we are planning for our principal. We always refer to him as our principal, who we expect to be joining us, say, by the end of this month, April.
Okay. Mr. George Wood, there you are. We got you now. Mr. Wood, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So, Dr. Kamara, if you're finished there on that point, we're going to go to Mr. Tule. Friends of Gonglo, we're told that you've been, first of all, I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to go back to Dr. Kamara, and this question will go around to the three of you. Dr. Kamara, Councillor Tiawan Gonglo is no stranger in Liberia and is no strange Liberian personality. He's a man of impeccable integrity. He's a man who is a true, unwavering champion of human rights and social justice. He's made tremendous sacrifices in the fight for a better Liberia. He's been petitioned to run for president. But why are you three supporting him? I will start with you, Dr. Kamara, and then we'll work our way to Mr. Tule and then to Mr. Wu. Dr. Kamara, why do you think Gonglo at this time is the best suited to become president? Because of course, if you didn't think that way, you wouldn't be supporting him. But why?
That's a very good question. And we all, including over 400 members of our movement that has vowed to support the candidacy of Councillor Tiawan Gonglo, feel he is the best alternative at the time to lead Liberia out of the various crises the country finds itself in. We believe in his character, the way he's comported himself throughout the years. We believe in his vision, as was described in a 10-point during his declaration event in Ghana. That includes transparency, that includes enforcing the rule of law, that includes good governance. And this gentleman has lived by an example. As you very well said, throughout his years here on earth, he has been a man of integrity. He has always advocated for peace, stability, and good governance in Liberia. And at this time, he felt it was just the right time for him to join this race and put his words into action. And we support him because, like any other Liberian, we believe in his vision. And I will yield to the rest of my team members to expand on that. Let me recognize Mr. George Ward, who is the chairman of the board of Friends of Gonglo, to jump in.
Thank you, Mr. Kamara. Costa, you know how our country is today. The reason our country it is the way it is because there is no rule of law in that country. That's what makes the difference between Liberia and America. Here, the people here believe in the rule of law. And that's why we believe in Councillor Gonglo, because he says that when he takes over, anybody who interferes with the policing or with the rule of law, that person will be dismissed. One of the things our country is not going the way it is because we don't believe in the rule of law. And we think if Councillor Gonglo comes to power, since he's from the law background, and he did, his behavior, his integrity have shown throughout the time that he's a man with that character and will not be in corruption pattern. So we think he can do well. He will be able to put this country on the footing. And let me just say, I know you yourself, Costa, on your show, because I watch the show all of the time, you one time admitted that this is the man to draft for him to run for the presidency. And you have always said that if you were not supporting Bwaka, you would have been spearheading his campaign. So this is the kind of character of the person we're talking about. And we are convincing all of our Liberian folks that if we want this country to change and to change for the betterment, then we should go with Tiawan Gonglo, because he has lived his life through in that faction and manner. A man who travels and brings back change. How many presidents you see in Liberia that will do that at this time? You know, so we're talking about somebody who has a credential. He has lived it. So when we give him that opportunity, he will be able to prove it on a national level. Let me rest and let Tule come in.
Yes, Mr. Ward, thank you very much. And yes, I am not ashamed to speak or shy to speak of the impeccable character that Tiawan Gonglo is. I have known him across the years. He has stood with me, fought for me without paying him a cent. In all of my legal troubles, he's been with me. And I owe him a debt of gratitude and for who he is. And he didn't do it because he necessarily likes me as a person or agrees with everything I say. He did it because it is who he is. He believes in justice. He believes in that. So I have a special relationship with Councillor Tiawan Gonglo, very special. And you know, if I wasn't supporting Joe Bwaka, I would be supporting Tiawan Gonglo for president. So let's just make it clear. So and that's how I feel, and I am the guy who's noted for saying how he feels.
Yes.
I don't necessarily care how anybody feels about how I feel, but that's who Tiawan Gonglo is. He is an impeccable gentleman.
Right.
He's a man who is selfless, a man who doesn't care about money. To fix Liberia, that's the kind of character Liberia would need. And I support who I support because of similar reasons. You know, the reasons for which I support Joe Bwaga are not really different from the reasons I support, or the characteristics that Tiawan Gonglo possesses. So it's just a little troublesome thing for me, but he is a wonderful man, And so let's speak of Momo.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having us, and thanks to your listening audience for tuning in. Yeah, the reason why many of us friends of and friends of Gonglo support the candidacy of Councilor Tiawan Sey Gonglo is that he has, like you said, an impeccable character. He has a distinct character. He's that one individual who's decided to run today, who uh, solely base his bid on his track record. He's one politician in Liberia today that's in the race that can put his bet on his track record of how he's lived his life, and that we all know it's been too long that our country has suffered at the hand of bad leadership, and it's about time that we look to the right leader, and that is in Councilor Sey Gongolo, to move that country in the right trajectory. He has, lived his life fighting for good governance, fighting for the rule of law, and normally in our country, he's known as the poor man lawyer. Even for those that are in government today, the ruling establishment, he has when they were in opposition, Councilor Tiawan Sey Gongolo, was that lawyer who was, when their rights were abused or when they were put in jail by the Ellen Johnson's administration. He was the one who went out there, and advocate for them, when their rights were trampled upon. So we are looking at a man who has that character, the pedigree to change the trajectory of our country. That nation currently, look at what's going on in Liberia right now, because you and I, the human right abuse, strange, secret killings and stuff all over the country, the violation of human rights all over the place. And who's that best person to change the narrative for us? Is Tiawan Sey Gonglo, and that is why someone like me and the rest of the guys on our crew are vowing that we're supporting the candidacy of Councilor Tiawan Sey Gonglo.
Momo Tula, thank you very much, folks. I just want to make an announcement. We did an adjustment to the date that the two doctors will appear instead of Friday. They will now be appearing on Thursday at 11 a.m. Liberian time, which will be at 7 a.m. Eastern time. So let me repeat to spread the word. Instead of Friday 11:30 Liberian time or 7:30 Eastern time, they will now be appearing on Thursday. I have communicated with Dr. Cooley. He has consented to appear at that time. I have also communicated with Dr. Cooper. So the both of them will appear on Thursday instead of Friday. So I just wanted to put that out there. We have these three fine gentlemen here. So we hear your principal, Councilor Tiawan Gonglo, will be in country soon. And do you have any programs coming up, Dr. Kamara? Let's circle back to you or with you. Any programs, any events? We're hearing about an event down in Atlanta, Georgia, one coming up in Philadelphia, and several other places. But let's talk about that, Doc.
Very well, Mr. Costa. Thanks again. We do have a series of events that we've planned for the principal during his visit here in the United States. The most important among all the programs that we've planned is the one that is going to be taking place in Atlanta, Georgia, which is chaired by the brother Maman Toure. Maman Toure has been the leader of that group in Atlanta, Georgia, and he is spearheading that program. It's going to take place on May the 14th. Everything is set. We are currently selling tickets for that event, and Anybody wishing to buy tickets for that event can always contact us at friendsofgonglo@gmail.com. In conjunction to that, we have events planned in Minnesota. We have events planned in Boston, in Staten Island. We have another event that is planned here in Philadelphia. And there's going to be a major event in Washington, D.C. before he departs. All these events in the various states will include town hall meetings on Sundays, and it will also include a dinner and dance program on Saturday. The councilor will be visiting North Dakota. He will be the guest of one of our sisters organization called Team Gonglo Diaspora. As I mentioned earlier, we have a couple of organizations here in the diaspora that are supporting the candidacy of the councilor. So that he will also be visiting North Dakota, where he will be the guest of Team Gonglo Diaspora. I think that group is headed by Mr. Jar and Mr. Dennis Koti. So the dates, we have the various dates, and if you want me to share those various dates, I will share with you. But the primary program we have in Atlanta is going to take place on May
on the
14th.
You said.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. May the 14th in Atlanta, Georgia. So the itinerary. But you guys will appear on the show again one more time before then, right?
Yes,
sir.
yes, sure.
Yes, that would be fine.
Good, good.
And we expect you to please accommodate our principal during the first week in May when he's here, so that he can appear and have a conversation with you and your members.
Councilor Gonglo doesn't need to ask me to appear on this show. He only needs to say he wants to appear on this show. Oh, he defended this platform for years. Look, I'm gonna be honest. You know, he stood with us, fought for us, defended us for years. You cannot forget such people. You know, we gotta be clear about that. When many of the people we call our associates today were not there, he was there.
Yep.
So yeah. So well, let me take we'll take a few calls there. Let's take Comrade Darlington Collins here. Comrade Collins, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Costa, and good morning to the brothers from Team Gonglo.
Friends of Gonglo. Yes, Friends of Gonglo.
As maybe aware, I have keen interest in the Tier 1 Gonglo's bid for president. I mean, I align and affiliate with the Liberian People's Party, the political party he comes from. I think Councilor Gonglo is a good man, and I think he did well for our country. But internally, there are internal party issues here. If Councilor Gonglo is organizing Friends of Gonglo to propel his bid for vice presidency, then we should be clear with us. If you want to run on the LPP ticket, then we should go back to the party and unify the forces. I'm sure Councilor Gonglo is listening to me, because he knows very well that the party right now, the party is struggling. We have a lot of internal issues within the party, and are those issues resolvable? The guys from the party have been trying to restructure and reorganize the party, rebrand the party with the non-chairman, Councilor Jala. Dr. Formula is still a political leader. He needs to tell us a clear-cut agenda. Is he running with the LPP? Because the LPP today has a political leader. And we need to be very clear here. I mean, you know very well, of course, I have admiration for Councilor Tier 1 Gonglo. But if we must present a case to the Liberian people that you want to be president, I think it is more important that we go to the party and unite the forces. And if they come to Philadelphia, I'm one of those presidents who will be there. I think Gonglo has been a reputable human rights activist. He's a good man, like I said. If he wants to be president, we need to hear some of his ideas. And
okay.
I align with the LPP, and I think that's what Gonglo should put that on the agenda.
Okay, thank you very much.
On his mission to be vice president.
Thank you very much, Comrade Collins. Comrade Darlington Collins there. I don't know whether Friends of Gonglo can respond to that. I've met an LPP man here.
Let me just explain, you know, I appreciate the brother's viewpoint, but Councilor Gonglo is not forming any outside group here to run. The initiative that we are undertaking currently was done on our own. We formed this group to support his candidacy. Yeah, the brother who just spoke is correct. Everything is going to be done through the party. As you know, and many people have said this in many forums, our principal is not actually financially equipped. So we decided to form ourselves as a movement. here in the diaspora to assist him financially to raise the necessary funds that he would need to become a viable candidate in Liberia. So yes, that is our goal. Our goal is to collaborate with the party. Our goal is to, I mean, because right now the party I don't think is that active. In the event that the party becomes very active and they take over the candidacy or whoever the candidate is going to be for that party, and the councillor has said, well, I'm one of those maybe among many who might be running, and if I am the candidate, I will expect everybody to support me, and if anybody else emerges as the candidate, I will support them. So our goal here is to support the principal, and when he becomes the candidate of the LPP party, we will collaborate with them. No, he did not form this group. We took the initiative.
So you are auxiliaries, support auxiliaries.
Very good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you are not necessarily members of his party. You don't care about party.
Exactly. So yeah, we're
let me add to what
let's take Momo Tule. Mr. Wu will come to you. Mr. Tule, he had wanted to chime in there before Mr. Kamara came in, or Dr. Kamara. Yeah, Momo, let's hear you.
It's exactly. We are not a member of any political party right now in Liberia. We are just people.
And you don't have to be.
We don't have to be, and we are admirers of Mr. Councilor Tiawan Say Gonglo. As soon as he decided to run, and we knew that he doesn't have the necessary capital to take on this huge tax. We decided to come together as friends of Gonglo to support his presidential bid, because we believe in this man. We believe in the work that he's done for many Liberians. So that's the reason why we've come together to support his candidacy, not for any political probably being associated with any kind of political party. But yes, and that no one comes to a presidential race to become someone's vice president. Like the guy right there said, he talked a lot of good stuff about things about Councilor Terrence Segun, but one thing he said that I think I'm going to differ with or disagree with is the fact that if Councilor Terrence Segun wants to be a vice president, no, he wants to be the leader of the nation. He wants to change the trajectory of that country. So that is the reason why we are in this. We are in this with him, that we are fighting to ensure that Councilor Terrence Segun becomes the next president of the Republic of Liberia come 2023.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Tule. And now we go to Mr. George Wu. Mr. Wu?
Thank you. Thank you, Costa. The brother that just spoke, I know him very well. And I myself, I'm a founding member of LPP. But the party and the auxiliary group here has nothing to do with one another. The auxiliary group is supporting Tiawan Gonglo. Where Tiawan goes is where they go. And Tiawan himself is a founding member of LPP. He has said over and again that this is the party he has selected to run on because he's a founding member of that party. So the party work has nothing to do with Friends of Gonglo here in the diaspora or even Team Gonglo on the ground. It doesn't stop the party from organizing and going to that convention. All we are doing is try to make Tiawan prepare so that when he goes to the convention, he can face the other candidate and be victorious and win the nomination of the party. And win the nomination of the party. So it has nothing to do with the auxiliary groups that supporting Tiawan Gonglo. We need to organize that party and make it stronger to be able to compete in the 2023 election. And the party doesn't bother the auxiliary, and the auxiliary is not bothering the party. They are supporting the person they believe that is able to carry the party.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Folks, if you're just tuning in to one of our many platforms or Facebook, which, if that's what you're watching us on, we have with us three fine gentlemen, Dr. Emmanuel Kamara, Mr. Momo Tambatule, and Mr. George Wu. They're three officials and members of the Friends of Gonglo USA. And they support the presidential bid of Councilor Tiawan Say Gonglo. The man needs no introduction. He is supposed to be coming to the U.S. in a couple of weeks, and they're planning a number of events, one in Atlanta, Georgia, on the 14th of May, and they will have another one in Philadelphia, another one in D.C., some up in Minnesota, and other places right across the United States in places where there are huge concentrations of Liberians. Gentlemen, we're going to wrap this up. Of course, you guys will come on much closer to the time and with the first event. And when Councilor Gonglo himself comes, he will appear on this show and we'll have a conversation. We've interviewed him some couple of months ago about why he's running for president. We had a great conversation with him. Very interesting it was. And so I want to thank you for coming on this morning, and we look forward to having you all again. So we're going to work our way around. Mr. Wu, please give us your parting comments.
Thank you very much, Costa. Thank you for letting us to appear on your show this morning. I think you and I have something in common. The fact that we admire Councilor Gonglo is something that we have in common. I myself was a member of UP, but when Councilor Gonglo came on, I decided to come to support here, even became the chairperson for the board here in the United States. And we're all looking for good men to recruit so that our country can be better. We need to always put our best up front. But the mistake we Liberians have done is we're always putting our worst, and as a result, our country is going down and down and down. So this time around, I know you have admiration for Black Eye, but you still get a small space in your mind for Gonglo. So therefore, you will work with us to ensure that we can achieve our goal with Gonglo. Thank you.
You want to put me in trouble now. Well, even my brother Mama Tule used to support some other candidate, but today
Yes.
he supports Councilor
Correct.
Gonglo.
You are correct. You are correct.
You know, so because some people follow their conviction. Some people, not all. Some people follow their conviction, and some people some people are involved in politics only because they want a better Liberia.
Right.
Some people are involved in it only because they want to seek their own interest. And some of us are driven by our conviction. That's what drives us. That's why we look at the big money that they offer us, we turn our back to it. People don't know. Just the fact that we are speaking the way we're speaking is a sacrifice. There's an easy road that we can take to be in bed with the people who have lots of money, but we choose to be on this road. Some people don't recognize that. That is their business. Momo Tule, let's hear your parting comments, my friend.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you for having us again. Well, for far too long, our country has suffered from bad leadership. The economy has been, in the toilet, and the rule of law, has never been, adhered to. We've seen, constant abuse of human rights, and we've seen rampant corruption in this current administration. So, I'm asking all well-meaning Liberians to join forces, with us to support the candidacy of Councilor Terwonse Gonglo, because he's a good man. He has a track record of decent life. He's stood for justice. He stood for good governance for decades. So, and then you could even tell from his from his 12 counts prescription for combating corruption. This is one of the main. Corruption is an existential threat to the growth and development of our country. Unless we can find ways and means to curb corruption, Liberia, our country will go nowhere. So he talked about asset declaration, that he would declare his asset, and it would be implemented. He would cause that his asset would be declared and published before even being sworn into office. When have we seen that? When have we even heard that in our political discourse? So Councilor Terwonse Gonglo is a man of impeccable character, and we want all Liberians, that are on the fence, that are looking, for a leader that will change our country, to look to Councilor Terwonse Gonglo, because he has the right mindset, he has the right pedigree to change our country. So I want to thank you again for inviting us on this show, and we are always ready to come back on here to make the case for our principal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tule. Let's go to Dr. Emmanuel Kamara.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Costa. Let me associate my closing remarks to those of Mr. Wu and Mr. Tule. Mr. Costa, we are happy to be on your show. We want to thank you and your team for what you're doing for the Liberian community all over the world. My closing remarks is an appeal to all Liberians of good faith who want to see their country move forward in the right direction. Some of you have said this, and I will just repeat it. We all used to be a part of a different group. Some of us have come out openly to support Councillor Tiawan Gonglo because of the opinions we have about him, because of his character, and so on and so forth. He is somebody who has Liberia at heart, somebody who cares for the little people on the streets. He doesn't hang out with the big boys and girls. You find him in the tattoo shop. You find him in West Point. You find him with people who are deprived. He is the voice of the people. We support him because he has always said he is not in this for his personal gain. And he is willing to work with whoever feels in a similar way to take this country to a different place. And we want to appeal to everybody. We know there are people that want to have conversations about collaboration down the line and so on and so forth. We ask you to come and join us. For instance, we're having this program in Atlanta on May 14. If you have the kind of opinion we have about this candidate and where we want to see our country tomorrow, we invite you to come and join us in Atlanta so we can have this conversation. Mr. Tiawan Gonglo has said every conversation is on the table. Those that would like to collaborate with him down the road, the door is wide open. We invite you to come and have that conversation with us. Please come and join our movement. Find a way to have that dialogue with us. We are always open to a meaningful conversation that change what's going on in Liberia. If you want to donate to our movements, you can email us at friendsofgonglo@gmail.com. friendsofgonglo@gmail.com. We organized this movement about 6-7 months ago, and Mr. Costa, you won't believe it. Our population has increased over 500. We meet on a regular basis. There are people that are contributing on a regular basis. If you hear about the widow's mite, we don't have money. We are all not millionaires, but I mean, we are willing to sacrifice the little we have to change the things that are going on in Liberia. So, Mr. Costa, we want to appreciate you. We want to appreciate your team. Continue to do what you do. And God bless you, my brother.
And one last thing, Costa. I know you're not going to come to the program because you have some other engagement, but I mean, help us to spread the word. I know UP is our sister party. We love the people of the Unity Party. We are all in this business to fight for our country, to give our country, that sort of to give our people a better representation. So please help us on your platform at times to spread the word for us.
Well, I'll say this to you, Momo, and we support a different candidate. I support a different. I don't speak for Boakai. I don't know who Boakai supports, but I mean, I'm talking about my co-host Boakai Kamara. But I know I support Joe Boakai for president. But I have very deep affinity towards Councillor Gonglo. This affinity is premised on the relationship that we've cultivated over the years, which has been one of deep admiration, deep philosophical, convergence, and what we both want to see in Liberia. And so I mean, any way I can help that does not outrightly undermine my own candidate. so I will be able to do that. I'm walking the thin line here. So this is the only other candidate.
We'll be sending 2 tickets to the Costa Show. One for Mr. Kamara, one for the Honorable Costa.
Yeah. So but guys, I wish you the best. But I will come to the program. Mo and I have been talking about the
Correct.
event, but I have too many events in May. But the one in Philadelphia, I will be there. I can promise you that. I've spoken with Madam Edith Gonglo where I will attend the program in Philly. And yes, we'll create some awareness about it. At the end of the day, we've got a year and a half. We'll see how things go. But
all right.
Councilor Gonglo has been there for me, so I have to be there for him in a way that I can that would not otherwise confuse my day. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you guys. Thanks again.
Thank you. Be there for him. That's what we want. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very much. Politics is something. Oh my God.
I mean, they really want to hear from the paper. They want you go over.
They want the whole you people to cry now. They say, because I cannot be trusted. Yeah. Councilor Gonglo has been there for me in ways that, just very extraordinary. And you gotta be grateful. You have to be grateful. He's been there for me for many, many years. Many years. He's been there for me.
Yeah.
And aside from all the other good things about him, but I have that with him. If Gonglo here, I'm arrested, he's gonna leave whatever he's doing to go there. That's who TSG is. He will go there. Not just me alone. All the people. Vandala Patrick goes to jail, Gonglo there. John Brown go to jail, Gonglo there. The other day they arrested Martina Konate and Queen Johnson, Gonglo were there. He didn't care about which party you support. He didn't care whether you like him. He didn't care about money. He is just there. That's the kind of man he is. He will be there. And when they see him, they're scared because they know him. He knows the law. He knows the law. So, you cannot, but I have tremendous admiration for Joseph Human Boakai. Tremendous respect and admiration for Joseph Boakai. A lot of ways, Joe Boakai and Gonglo are similar. A lot of ways. The two of them, money is not their fixation. When you're looking for a good leader, don't find one that left money being plenty. The one that left money that can do anything for money, stay far from him. I'm telling you something serious. Because the love of money is the root of all evil. Gonglo not get time for money. Boakai not get time for money. Joseph Boakai loves Liberia deeply. Deeply cares. All he wants to do is to help lay the foundation. Joe Boakai knows he's not going to be in power for long. He knows that. He just wants to lay the foundation of a Liberia that can work for the people. So I've come to really admire him. I've come to really respect him for who he is and what he stands for and what he believes in, and a track record of integrity and credibility. To have worked in various positions as high as the vice presidency for 25 years in the public service combined, and leave it and not be wealthy, and not have properties left, right, and not be ashamed to say, I ain't got no money. It says a lot about the character that he is.
I see the last comment. Is it Costa, don't promise they made too much or we the Boakai people
listening. But you see, that's not how I operate. Just because I support Joe Boakai for president and I respect who Joe Boakai is and what he stands for, does not mean I will not recognize who Gonglo is. Does not mean that. And even Joe Boakai will tell you he respects Terron Gonglo. Joe Boakai will tell you that. Joe Boakai will tell you that. He respects Terron Gonglo, a man of principle. So they are two fine gentlemen, and I hope that in some way, shape, or form, the two of them will be able to serve their country again. But I'm with Joe Boakai. And it's a fine choice. So if I had made a bad decision in terms of who I'm supporting,
and then Gonglo suddenly got up and said he's running for president, I would leave that person and support Gonglo. But the man that I'm with, it's a very good choice that I made. And I make no apologies for supporting Joseph Boakai. All day people going to him what they say, oh, Costa just got money. The people there wire Costa money. You'll be going to him, you'll be telling him that. I say he told me, but I'm just telling you, I know you can be going to tell him things. That what they do about they be going to be telling the men things. I say he told me, I just telling you, I know. People be going to be telling him, you gotta be careful because now. You see me, when I want to do something, I will do it. I need to come. I work for the Liberian people. We work for the Liberian people. We don't work for political party. We don't work for presidential candidate. We support a presidential candidate. I don't know why they can get it twisted. I don't work for Joseph Boakai. I support Joseph Boakai. I'm not one of his staffers. No, I don't work for him. When he president, he gave me job, then I work for him. But for now, I don't work for Joe Boakai. I work for myself. So when you go be talking to Joe Boakai, Joe Boakai know that because I'm not working for him. I'm not in your office. I'm not in your party. I don't work for Ure. I don't live with Ure. I don't live with nobody. I'm a full-grown rusted man on my own. I got my own power. I got my own influence over my own people. Don't get it twisted. You disrespect me when you go to Joe Boakai and sit there and talk to him, but as if to say, I work for Joe Boakai. You disrespect me. You got young. You got 39 years old. But you know what I know in here? You know what brought me here? God brought me here. So don't disrespect me like that. I support Joseph Human Boakai for president, and I make no apologies. I don't see anything making me shift my support from Joe Boakai. When Joe Wea called me, some of y'all are running, oh, the man gone. The man gone. Today is the 19th. When did Joe Wea call me, Boakai? March 19th. Today is what? April 19th. Today makes it what? 1 month. Why I'm going? Eh? Baga, why I'm going? They say I will go. Baga, have I left? As my tune on the show change with you?
No.
You just rush to start accusing people. I the one here and told you, I said, Joey called me. That you're the one got to know Joey called me. I the one told you. Then the man gone. Joey called the man gone. You understand me? So y'all need to stop. They want you to not opposition people I care about. I don't even care about the communist people. But y'all who support Joe Boakai, y'all be going to him with y'all be talking all kind of things. Y'all know what me and Uncle Joe can pass? Y'all know the role we can take? You know the people that what they don't know Boakai, they don't know the relationship between me and Joe Boakai. They just think and say, oh, God, I can just sit on the show and stop playing it at all. You know the role me and Uncle Joe can pass? You think you will just go to him, you tell him something about me, he will just believe you? You wasting your time. You wasting your time. You wasting your time. The relationship is deep. It's nephew and uncle relationship now. They're not just presidential candidate. He knows that he knows why I support him. He knows why. And so nobody can buy me with money to move from behind him. You know, so you're just happy. And see, somebody said waiting for my appointment in December. You all right? Now me will take government job. A stupid man to take government job. You're all right, yeah. So that there, my people. That yeah. Me and Joseph Boakai been there. Don't put you more inside. You think say you go tell him something about me, he will believe you. He got to see it himself. As long as he not see it, he will not believe you. That there. And you must go tell him and say, I will not hear it. You wasting your time. I'm saying tell you, but if you tell him and you think you will not tell me, you will. Thank you so much. God bless you all. I'm supporting Joseph Boakai.
Yeah, so the show instead of Friday is now on Thursday. Please spread the word. Okay.
Thursday, that is correct. Thursday is the show with Dr. Rockefeller Cooper and Dr. Benedict Cooley. It's going to be a very interesting, fascinating conversation. We know it's going to be a little, rigid, a little tense, but we'll try to keep it civil so that you all can learn a lot from it. All right. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Bye-bye.